Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Circuit of the Americas in Texas, United States of America, for the United States Grand Prix. So, what have we got for this race today? Well, lots and lots of grid penalties. Excuse me. So, Verstappen, Perez, Sainz, Alonso, Norris, Gasly and Tsunoda have all got grid penalties. That's 7 drivers, all with grid penalties. Now, as for our actual qualifying, once again, did not make it out of qualifying 1. In the event that I get out of qualifying 1, I will begin doing qualifying in these videos again. However, as we continually end up getting knocked out in the first round of qualifying, there's literally no point in showing you anything. It was especially disappointing for Alexander Albon. He never got a clear run. He just kept getting either held up in traffic or ran a little bit wide. So it was about 5 seconds off the pace compared to Lance Stroll. Jack Doohan, a little bit faster, about a tenth of a second. Nearly a full second off Yuki Tsunoda, but it was about a tenth of a second off Mick Schumacher, so very quite close there. However, when you look at the qualifying, because of those grid penalties, Jack Doohan is promoted to P13 on the grid, and Alex is promoted to 18th on the grid. We've got our setups done. There's no way this would be a one-stop race. You can already see that it's quite pushing it a little bit with the two-stop strategy. Softs are absolutely pointless in America because they literally last you about 9 to 10 laps. That's basically it, and then they're dead. So, yeah, it is definitely, we are going this way. In the event that we suddenly have a situation where we maybe get a late safety car or something, maybe possibly consider going on to the softs, but realistically, no, there's absolutely no point whatsoever at all. So, we're not going to get any further along. Jack 95% confidence, Alexander 89% confidence. Let's get started with the United States Grand Prix.
As the sun continues to shine, it seems like nothing can dampen the mood of excitement here at the track. Here's Williams. They're starting in the bottom half of the grid today, so there's a lot of cars between them and the podium. And then we've got Alex Albon. Slower than most yesterday, so today they'll be starting from the bottom half of the grid. Will their hard work pay off today? Sit tight and get ready. It's the United States Grand Prix. And it's lights out and away we go.
So on board with Jack, he's currently battling with Mick Schumacher, and he's already lost the place out to Vettel. So of course in this one, that first corner is always ideally suited for those cars that are on the inside line. Has anybody gone with this? Oh! So I'm just going to pause 1 second, just as we look at the tyre compounds. Quite a lot of cars, surprisingly, have gone for the softs. So, realistically, I believe they will be doing a two-stop strategy where they do mediums and hards. Which way round to go, I don't know. But it's not been good when I've been trying to simulate the strategies. I don't think they're lasting very well, at least for us anyway. So that's going to be quite a tough one to go for.
And there's an overtake from Williams.
So Jack just currently behind Mick Schumacher, who's on the faster, softer compound tyres. Albon is currently right behind Lance Stroll, just seeing if he can get him into this corner. And he doesn't, so we're going to have a go right on the big old straight. Maka able to get anything there. He does move up to P12 and he's right behind Kevin Magnussen now. Can he get him? He breaks a little bit late going around the outside. And Magnussen just manages to hold on to his place. And somebody's locked up. Looks like that might be Leclerc. The yellow flag. And the crash! Oh my god! I think Hamilton's involved.
Let's take a closer look. Watch this.
So yeah, Leclerc locks up. Oh! And literally Hamilton...
There's the crash. Mark my words, there'll be questions asked about that later.
So it looks like that was apparently Hamilton's fault. Excuse me. That's Hamilton's fault. So he has got a time penalty. Straight away you can see his soft compound tyres have lost a lot. Probably about 20% compared to everybody else, or the vast majority of everybody else. So this is not going to be a good race for them. So we're just going to ask the guys now to begin to back off your tyres and your ERS.
Yes, okay.
So we need these tyres to last.
Robbie.
So Jack Doohan is currently in P9, currently right behind Verstappen, and Hamilton is in the pit. So he will probably be doing a three-stop race probably for Lewis Hamilton. I presume he's lost his front wing. So unfortunately for Hamilton, this is going to be a long and lonely race. So Jack just beginning to drop back from Verstappen. Ideally he wants to try and stay within a second of him so he can utilise that DRS and just keep within that train. Just keep pulling him along away from Kevin Magnussen. As for Albon, he's stuck right behind Lance Stroll at the moment, which is a little bit unusual. Lance Stroll has just been getting a little bit better than normal recently. Right, so we're now into the DRS range. Verstappen has managed to get past Daniel Ricciardo. Finally. So here we are going up the main long straight. So I do apologise. I do have a little bit of a sticky throat today, so I apologise if I end up coughing a little bit more so than normal. So of course we did underfuel our cars quite dramatically at the start of this race. Wanted to save it by about 4 laps or so. We wanted to just enable us to get a little bit of lower fuel load in there, so our cars are a little bit lighter, so it means that we're able to go a little bit faster at the start of the race. Jack around about 7/10 away from Daniel Ricciardo, so we should be able to get in the DRS going for this main long straight, which of course is an extremely long straight. And Albon has managed to get Stroll. That was probably a nice, simple DRS assisted overtake. Let's have a look at this.
Now we see the Williams here.
Nice and easy. Way past him before he even gets to the corner. So we're just going to ask him to deploy his ERS a little bit. We just want to close up the gap to Pierre Gasly, who's just up ahead in the Alpha Tower at the moment. So we're looking at about bang average at this moment in time, which is really good. Oh, and there's Stroll trying to go up the inside. And he does manage to get the place taken back. That doing...
Aston Martin Martin.
very well in P9 at the moment. Very close behind Daniel Ricciardo, and a nice gap to Kevin Magnussen behind. So as I said, we are probably going to be expecting in the region. Oh, Jack has managed to get past Daniel Ricciardo. We're going to get a replay of that. No, probably not. Okay, so yeah, we're probably going to expect around about laps 9 or 10 to be around about that point where those soft runners, Jack just being re-overtaken by Ricciardo, Albon coming down in P16, so just behind Stroll, so at the moment with Alonso, Tsunoda, Leclerc and Hamilton behind. Fortunately, Hamilton with that pit stop, with the time penalty and with the change of the front wing, he is 26 seconds off the pack. But of course, he is going to have to make another pit stop. He started on the soft compound tyres, he changed those tyres, so he's pretty much negated those tyres and he's just going to have to go again. So that is very unfortunate for him. And Jack's just re-overtaking Ricciardo there. So yeah, literally only within a couple of laps we're going to see those soft compound drivers coming in. Okay. So as it currently stands, Russell in the lead, followed by Bottas, and followed by Carlos Sainz, and then Bottas has just overtaken Russell. It looks like I was probably on the main straight, so that would have been a very simple DRS assisted overtake. Jack, unfortunately, the gap between the Williams and the Red Bull is just ridiculous. They've got such an amazing pace advantage. We just can't keep anywhere close to them.
Good job, good job. And
Albon moves up to P15, so he has got ahead of Stroll. So as it comes down, Bottas, Russell, Sainz, Zhou, Ocon, Perez, Verstappen, Jack Doohan, Ricciardo, Norris, Magnussen, Mick Schumacher, Vettel, Gasly, Albon, Stroll, Tsunoda, Alonso, Leclerc and Hamilton. So maybe at the end of this next lap, so we're just gonna keep an eye on those front runners, see how they do. Are they gonna pit? Anyone coming into pit? It does not look like any of the top 7 at this current moment in time. So Yuki Tsunoda has just overtaken Alexander Albon. Perez has overtaken Esteban Ocon. And Alonso is in the pit. So as I said, we're now getting to that point. Excuse me, I do apologise for that. I keep having to clear my throat here, guys.
With a great overtake.
So, as I said in the last episode, what we really tend to see with the Williams at the moment is we've got dreadful over a single lap time in comparison to everyone else. We've got a really bad time. We're really slow, and it shows in qualifying that we've never got out of qualifying 1 as of at the time of speaking. But in our race pace, we are doing very well, consistently very well. We're constantly able to keep pace with the McLarens, the Haas's, the AlphaTauris, all who, in theory, they should be a heck of a lot faster than us.
That was good.
So as you can see, we've got our pit window in around about 6 or 7 laps time. Alex, unfortunately, just losing out there to Yuki Tsunoda.
That's a position gained for AlphaTauri.
So none of the front runners have come in just yet, so I think they're probably going to be pushing 1 more lap as it currently stands. So I reckon it's Lando Norris actually. Norris has now got ahead of Ricciardo. So here's Norris Oh, unfortunately, that's more bad news for Lewis Hamilton at the moment. Norris has got ahead of Jack Doohan. He is very overpowered on these straights in this particular race. You are really able to overtake with a lot of ease because it's such a long pit straight. Not pit straight, long back straight. And Carlos Sainz is in. Carlos Sainz is the only one of the top runners who is currently in for pit. Those tyres appear to be lasting a bit longer than realistically I would have expected. So a little bit surprised there. And we just managed to get ahead of Carlos Sainz, which is great news for us. Hopefully now Carlos Sainz is going to hold back Daniel Ricciardo. Don't you worry, Alex. All is in hand. And here we go, Perez, Zhou and Ocon all into the pits. I imagine they're probably all going to get out. I don't know, maybe Jack might just be able to overtake them. Let's take a look-see. And it does look like he has. So as it currently stands, Jack is currently into P6. Albon is into 13. Gasly, Schumacher and Vettel have all pitted as well. Tyre wear, definitely for Alex is looking a little bit better than expected, so we may push him an extra lap or two longer. Now we just see what tyres. Most people are doing the soft, medium, hard from what I can tell. Tsunoda and Russell, I presume they'll probably coming in this lap. So if we just go up to Russell, I'm expecting him to come in because Bottas from the medium, so he will be remaining out. I think with the way this has been, I think this could be an incredible opportunity that Bottas could possibly finish on the podium. And there is Russell. Russell is in the pit as I suspected. Going on to the medium compound tyres. He'll probably manage to get out ahead, yes, because he's on the move. Jack's only just coming around the final corner to go on to pit straight. So I imagine Russell should come out ahead of Jack. Quite possibly Sainz as well. That's going to be quite close. No, Russell does manage to come out, so he only loses one place in that pit stop, which is very important there, really important there for him. Tsunoda is also in the pit this lap as I expected as well. So we're going to skip on a little bit. The duel is coming down, that's right, we're not worrying too much. And we've now just entered the pit window for Jack Doohan. So as it was currently stand, if we were to look to pit right now, we'd be coming out around about P14, so that would be in the area about Lance Stroll, who would probably also be pitting as well. Leclerc is on 44% of his tyres, so I'm expecting him to pit literally within the next lap or two as well. So Perez has managed to get past him, and there we go, Ricciardo and Leclerc are finally in. So got 2 more laps, so I'm going to ask Alex now to just begin pushing. Pushing with his tyres. Use up what little tyres you have got left. Oh, there's Guan Yu Zhou just managing to get past him there. Guan Yu Zhou, of course, with much fresher tyres, and there's Ocon as well.
A position gained for Alfa Romeo.
And this is the one. So we have got the strategy. Yes, so we are moving to go onto the hard compound tyres.
Go in.
So I want you to literally deploy with everything you have got.
Copy.
And the same will be for Alex. And we managed to get past Guan Yu Zhou on the pit straight, so back up to P6. But of course, Jack is coming into pit momentarily. I'll just slow down as soon as he gets to the pit lane. And Jackson. So in an ideal situation, if we can get ahead of Hamilton, would be fantastic. So Albon, we are going to be stretching one lap further than we probably would have done. So here we go. New tyres on. 2.4 second pit stop. Very good indeed. Oh, are we going to... unfortunately, we have lost out to Hamilton and Ricciardo there, unfortunately.
Okay, back off.
Copy.
As you can see, we're right behind Hamilton at the moment, who may have some more actual damage. He may have damage, maybe like a chassis or something like that, which could be affecting him from that crash that he did have earlier, because it was quite a big crash from what I could see. So we're using ARS. Hamilton has got past Ricciardo. Can Jack do it as well? Not on this occasion. And Jack's within one lap of being underfueled now, so we've really been able to utilise the weight loss there with the fuel. So Albon, we're just looking to get past the pit onto the main strip, and now we're going to call him in to box. We're going to keep him on, or shall we change strategy? Actually, let's take a look. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to change the strategy. Yeah, so we've changed the strategy, so we're going to the doing the same as Jack, medium, hard, medium, I think. Save them the mediums for the end, where a lot of drivers, I think, will be on the hards. Might just give us that little extra boost right towards the end.
Okay, box.
Let's go push.
Okay, copy.
And here we go. Alex is now coming into the pit lane. He is changing strategies, going on to the hard compound tyres. Now it's estimating there's going to be coming out around about P19. I would be surprised if it's that low down. I really would be, to be perfectly honest. I think we're probably going to be out 8. Oh no, it is 19th. It is 19th actually. Well, bugger me. Okay, so we're just gonna push hard on this initial opening lap, because we're getting right onto the back of this DRS change. Never know, we may get someone here. I mean, we are behind Leclerc. I'm surprised Leclerc's still so far back.
Yeah, we can easily overtake.
Copy.
And there's an overtake from Williams.
Oh, oh! I was worried we were about to run into the back of Vettel there for a second.
And a new position just gained by Williams.
Okay, so Jack has now overtaken both Ricciardo and Gasly, and is now in P11. And we're about 2 seconds behind Hamilton, but of course he would be pitting probably within the next 5 laps would be my estimate at this stage. So he may do another stint on the hards. But if you look at it, I mean, realistically, what we're talking. So what? Talk about 22 laps. So you'd have to really stretch them out. I think that is going to be a struggle, not going to lie. I think that will be a struggle for Hamilton. In my opinion, I think he's probably got 2 more stops. Unless he really is able to stretch these hards and then go to a new set of hard compound tyres as well. And the yellow flag in sector 1.
Yellow red.
Copy.
What's happened?
And that's the lockup. Let's see what happened there. Now just focus on the Haas. Just a bit too heavy on the brakes, and they've locked up.
So that's a position gain there for Alexander Albon. He's now into P17, still ahead of Leclerc. The fact that Leclerc is still so far down after that incident, I can only assume he's got some form of damage which is slowing him down. Because Leclerc's pace with the Ferrari, he should be easily overtaking a Williams, an Aston Martin, a Haas, an AlphaTauri, you know? Because his teammate, Carlos Sainz, actually, he's just on the fastest lap. So let's just compare. So Sainz a 139, Leclerc a 141. So 1.3 seconds or so slower than Sainz. Yes, you may be able to argue that obviously Leclerc is in a bit of a traffic, but also Sainz doesn't have the DRS, which Leclerc does have. And in fact, the Williams went faster. Albon went faster than him. Vettel went faster than him. Magnussen only just slightly slower than him. So, yeah, I do really think he's got damage somewhere.
Low fuel, so be mindful of that.
Yes.
Well, we did have a really good moment where we really kind of caught up with our fuel a little bit. So I'm just going to ask them to do a little bit of lifting
Increase
coasting for a
lifting
little bit.
Yep, sure.
Just try and bring that back within range a little bit more. It will mean that we slow down somewhat, but I'd rather make sure that we've got the fuel, you know. We've got 30 laps to go to kind of catch back up.
Oh, and Ferrari just gained a place. We can take a look now. Okay, here's the Ferrari.
Ooh, a little bit later on the braking, I think, there from Leclerc, so just a little bit more aggressive there.
Let's reduce lifting coast. Yep, copy.
So Jack is doing a phenomenal job at the moment in P11. With Hamilton needing to take another pit stop, I can very easily see that Jack could end up on the points yet again for the second time and get us our second points finish of the season. And Alonso is into pit. Yeah, so those medium compound runners, they are going to be pitting very, very soon. Of course, because we're doing the slightly alternative strategy, we are going longer, because obviously we're on our hards. But it also means that we'll be faster with our mediums towards the end. At least theoretically, hopefully.
Increase lifting coast.
Copy.
And there's an overtake from Williams.
And here you go. This is where you now begin to see all of the cars coming in. Sainz, Bottas, Perez, Ocon, all into the pits. Maybe we've underfueled a little bit too much because we're just struggling that little bit to bring the fuel back into the main kind of levels. And as you can see, oh! Yellow flag, sector 1. What's happened? Someone's run wide.
They've gone wide.
It was Ricardo!
Now just take a look at the McLaren. Oh dear, dear, dear.
So didn't lose too much time there. But it has allowed Gasly to overtake him, or at least very briefly, because then Gasly has gone into the pits. So even with the lifting and coasting, we're still... Another car's run wide. Who's on this occasion?
Was that a lock-up on the track?
George Russell towards the front.
Now let's look at this. Here's George Russell. And
Ooh.
yes, that's the lock-up.
That's a bad one. That has meant he would have lost a lot of time there, and I think Verstappen may have been able to gain a place on him.
What a shame.
So Jack is literally leading this DRS train, which starts with and ends with both of the Williams. Because we just can't seem to get that fuel under control. Just can't seem to do it. And that's Guan Yu Zhou into the pits. And there's a number of cars all around us, that's all into the pits. Yellow flag, sector 1, what's happened now? Someone's run wide again. Who's on this occasion?
Oh, they've run wide.
It was Guan Yu Zhou, fresh set of tyres as well. So Hamilton is on 28% on his hard compound tyres. These are the tyres, if you remember, he changed onto on lap 2. So he is really pushing long I mean, he's got to be coming in soon, so I think he's probably going to try and go to another set of hard compound tyres. That would be my guess. Obviously, that's even if he has another set. So Jack just being overtaken by Alonso there, and then Kevin Magnussen. But getting past Magnussen. So it's doing 11th, Albon 13th as it stands. Hamilton has gone into pits, and what did he change on to? He changed on to the mediums. He has gone on to the medium compound tyres. It's a little bit surprising. But then again, we're only about 5 laps away from us getting into our first window. So, I mean, what we're talking basically 20 laps thereabouts. And actually, we did do, yes, obviously you can see Albon, we did 21 laps on it. So yeah, actually, it's not outside the realms of possibilities. Then that's a good move by Mercedes. Perez currently with the fastest lap of the race.
Mercedes moved up a place.
So Jack has now reached his window. Right, and we're now into the positive fuel there for Jack, so we're about to go back normal. Oh, and then so quickly under again.
Looks like there's been a lockup. Here's
Now
the replay.
Schumacher
Now just focus on the Haas.
coming up to turn one. Oh,
That could be costly.
definitely lost a couple seconds there, I reckon. Okay. Okay, so Jack is now going to be going to the medium compound tyres this coming lap.
You go push.
Copy.
Make sure you give some energy.
Copy.
So I think we are going to literally be the last drivers that need to pit. So where we are from there, we can just push, push, push and fully send it. We're a little bit too close to be able to do a double stack together. We've only got a couple of laps left now for Albon, so I'm just going to ask him to really send everything he's got now. Yeah, don't care that your tyres are getting warm, you're using them up. You're using them up.
Leave core increase, please.
Copy.
And this is now Jack into the pit, coming from P11. It was estimated to come out around about P18. Hopefully we can do better than that.
Ferrari, advance the race position.
Boxing is that.
And according to this, Albon, it would end up as a P20. Which feels a little bit surprising. A little bit.
Okay, back off.
Copy.
If we do end up as low down as it seems to suggest, I'll be very surprised. Not gonna lie.
So what DRS?
Copy.
So Albon, is he going to get out ahead of Lance Stroll? It's going to be a bit tight. But he does. So, after all the pit stops are done, we are literally now P17 and 18. I think maybe I've definitely underfueled too much in this race. Because, I mean, we've just not been getting it back. Like, in a lot of races, we have been really, what's the right way of saying it? We've been getting, like, to a point where we're, like, maybe 2 laps under, and then a few laps later, all of a sudden, we're, like, 4 laps up on the fuel. So we're able to really push again and kind of constantly go backwards and forwards. But this one is literally like we're having to hold it back. We just can't push on with the fuel as we need to. So maybe I need to have a rethink next time if I think about under fueling at the start of a race. So Jack is now right behind Kevin Magnussen, who's then 7 seconds off Daniel Ricciardo ahead of him. So we are going to make a move here. Not able to make a stick on this occasion. Going to ask Albon to deploy with the ERS. We want to really close out that gap to Jack Doohan. Coming onto the main pit straight, we want to use the overtake. See if we can manage to get past him on this occasion.
Overtake is available if needed.
Copy.
So go on Jack, send it. Got the ERS, we're sending it. Can we get to the top of the hill in time? Oh, not quite on this occasion. This is a, yeah, how this race started off and compared to what it is right now with, yeah, the last sort of 9 laps or so to go, I'm quite surprised. I'm not going to lie. Because it's almost like I felt,
Remember, overtake is available.
you know, Jack was racing so hard at the front of the grid. I felt certain that he would
Keep doing what you're doing.
you know, I felt certain that we would definitely be able to challenge for the points. Because we were all on the basically same strategy, just a slightly different time period for it, you know?
And go, push.
Okay.
So at the moment, Albon's just not quite able to close up that gap. Oh, and he has.
Seems to have been a lockup.
Magnussen had a lockup, that is why.
All eyes on Kevin Magnussen here. Well, they've lost it.
Oh, that was a bad one for him. Very, very bad one. So maybe are we going to get a bit of a benefit as their tyres begin to die off? I honestly don't know. I mean, Jack's about 9 seconds away from Daniel Ricciardo, so he's obviously lost pace with that. It's only just now into the positive, so I can't even still push on the fuel at this moment in time, which is really frustrating, you know. We may have to settle, unfortunately. This one is a bottom 5 one. Vettel up in 14th. I don't think anything's really going to change in the constructors on this one.
And we'll go push.
Copy.
Yeah. Deployed. Okay.
Are we able to close the gap? See, that's the thing. We're just not really closing
gas.
up any gap.
Yes.
And see, look, with this fuel, it's ridiculous. You just can't get the fuel and yeah, into range. Oh, sector 1, yellow flag, and that was Alex. Alex was the one who cocked up on that occasion. He ran wide.
Tires haven't really coming down. Yeah, AFM.
Oh, big lock up there. Let's take a closer look. Now we see the Williams here. Oh, and there's the lockup. That's the last thing they'll have wanted.
Yeah. I'm having to bring the tyres now down just to see if we can use that to help bring the fuel under control, which is not what I wanted to do. You know, we could end up bottom because Mick Schumacher is literally right behind Alexander Albon, and Stroll's right behind there as well. But I'm just conscious we may run out of fuel. And yes, Stroll manages to get ahead of Albon.
Aston Martin with a great play there. They've moved up a place.
But if we don't get the fuel under, what are we going to do?
Is that a new race position for Haas?
Oh dear.
Someone's run wide.
I mean, this isn't as bad as the yeah, it's not as bad as the French Grand Prix. That was a truly dreadful race. But unfortunately, in America, it's just not been our day, unfortunately. It really hasn't. And I'm disappointed. Not gonna lie, I am disappointed. But it's one of those
Looks
days.
like Aston Martin have just gained a race position.
And there we go, there's the race finish. So we finished P18 and P20. Disappointing end to it, and I apologise that I fast forwarded through a lot of the last few laps, but there just wasn't anything we could do. We didn't have the pace, we were having to manage the fuel so much. So, unfortunately, that was similarly to the which one was it? I think it was the race in Hungary where it was raining, and obviously I messed up with the strategy there. I think I messed up on this occasion as well. But then on the fuel, you know, we wouldn't have had to manage that as much. So we could have pushed a little bit more. Well, I still have to do some managing, because fuel use on this one was very high. So
Formula 1 moves to Mexico City.
So Carlos Sainz got the fastest lap on this one. Well done to you, Carlos. And Leclerc finishing, you know, obviously he did qualify first, and then obviously Yeah, that incident with Hamilton. Hamilton got the best deal out of that, actually. He actually managed to finish in the points. And he still only did a 2-stop race. Whereas I really thought he was going to have to make a 3-stop. So, good recovery there. So, Sainz on the top step of the podium. Valtteri Bottas, brilliant for him in second. And George Russell coming in third. Verstappen, good recovery up to P4 as well. Lando Norris in P7. That was 8 places rise to him. So that was fantastic. Alonso to P9, 10 places up the grid. But, yeah, Alexander Albon down 2 places. Jack down 5, unfortunately. Not a good race for us. So, in the standings, nothing changes down there. And nothing changes in the constructors either. And Alex has gained a development point. So that's good news for him. Nobody earned any bonuses. Unfortunately, we did lose some money to what we could have got. Because I guaranteed basically... oh! I apparently did a position streak, I guaranteed. I didn't realise I did that. And then the finishing position. So, because I guaranteed things to sponsors and I failed to meet those, we did lose $250,000, which is a disappointment. But of course, if Alex had finished in 15s and got us the bonus there, we would have had to pay him out $700,000 anyway. So, all in all, we probably made ourselves some money in that regard. So, just before I finish this episode, I just want to take a look, because in the last episode you would have seen that our front wing, we were doing some research for the following season, because of course that was something that was going to be changed in the regulations for the following year. So that was the front wing. That's what we saw last episode, and that's the research that went into that. And the rear wing completed literally about a day ago. So, well, that was happened like a day after the last Grand Prix. So that's why that was in the last episode. So again, we've got a really good bit of research there. Some good, looks like that's gains on there. Now we're basically waiting for the next kind of, where is it? Yeah, the next aerodynamic testing period, which is basically going to be in about 5 days' time. Now, are we going to get any more? Car parts development locked for the season. So I don't know whether that means that you can't or you can't design any more things for this current season. Oh yeah, because that's literally the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. That's the very last race. So if we are right, so we're here. Yeah, because we've only got 3 races now left. Literally only 3 races left, and then we finish the season, which is crazy. So Mexican Grand Prix, Brazilian Grand Prix, and then the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. So we've literally only got 1 period of testing left, which obviously we need to use that for next season basically. So let me just have a think. Could we put something into research now and get it developed before we, I think, basically can't do it anymore? Because if we were to do some research, let's say the chassis, for example. That would take 30 days, so that would be 23rd November, my birthday, incidentally. So that'll be 30 days. Or actually, it'll be depending on how many engineers you use. So 6 is the maximum, that would be 20 days. 5 engineers will be 20th to 15th of November. Because basically we've got 4 things we'd like to go for. So we could, in theory, possibly do 2 things without any aerodynamics, without like the wind tunnel and things like that, and then 2 with. So we'll say the 21st of November is literally when we have to, I think, not do any research. Or that's, like I said, that's maybe only just for this thing. So if we would be looking about the 25th, sorry, the 15th, that would then put us into that point where we then have wind tunnel hours, so we basically start on it on, say, the 15th or the 16th, before that deadline comes in. Right, that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. So, how do we do this again? Sorry. I'm still learning my way around, so ignore me. So, one of the big things is I need to get a really good top speed and acceleration boost for next year. So, chassis and side pods and suspension. Underfloor's more cornering. Right. Oh, I'm on design. I want to be on research. Sorry. So I'm. Trying to look at all these different things. So, speed, acceleration and engine cooling. Speed and engine cooling. That one's got some stuff to do with the corners, which we do need to work on the low corners, definitely. That's the brake cooling. Right, the ones I'm going to do... So, underfloor, I'm definitely going to use... the aerodynamics and all that usual stuff. I'm going to use that for that because that affects cornering, and that's definitely something we need to work on. Especially you can see that low speed, that's so bad at the moment. That's really, really bad. The suspension one, because that's about brake cooling, that's higher than our engine cooling percentage. That one I'm going to do now. So obviously I've got nothing to use there. So we're not going to get as big of a boost. Right. So definitely want to improve our low speed if we can. And that's so minimal. Really ramp up the drag reduction because that's going to improve our top speed. Bring that down because that doesn't need to be as high. Brake cooling. Oof, that one would literally be on the 21st of November. Right, I'll do that one. And then they're basically the same, pretty much. I'll do it as a chassis. Oh, but that takes us after. Is this because we're a little bit high on here? Right, yeah, so the more you basically push up with these kind of things, the longer it takes to do it. So, there we go. That's going to do that, and that will then give us enough time to put that in. Right, do we need any parts at all? Fine for the chassis, I think. Front wing. We'll manufacture one. Do we need a rear wing? Fine there. Suspension's fine there as well. Perfect. And then we were looking to do something here. I remember last day, weren't we? Let's have a look. Which one was I thinking about doing? That's about manufacturer, so I don't need to worry about that. Design center. Right, but that wouldn't get in. I have to have those in time. I'm still trying to work out what we're going to do at the moment, because obviously we've got a bit of scouting, but obviously these are for people who aren't even interested in us, you know. Pierre Gasly's literally still only got 2 months left in his contract. Like, the thing is, like, Jack's obviously high in the standings because he obviously finished in Spa in the points in 5th because of a load of retirements. Other than that, how close are they? I don't know. Still haven't made my mind up with him yet. Yeah, we brought Jack in to do a job and he has fucking done a job, you know? Ooh, I don't know. Well, we're going to think about that for the next time out. But for now, that is going to do it. That was the USA Grand Prix. We're going to be coming back. I'm basically coming back probably within the next hour or two to do the Mexican Grand Prix. So, I'm looking forward to this. Hopefully this will be a slightly better one than the American one. For now, if you like what you've seen, do drop a like on the video. Comment down below if you didn't like it. Also drop a comment. Tell me what things you'd like to see me improve on. I value all bits of feedback. I am very new to doing any broadcasting and videos, so anything you think would be good for me to improve on, I would appreciate your input. But for now, have a lovely evening. Take care. Bye bye.